The sun was shining brightly as Mama Rani led her 3 tiger cubs, Raja, Rani, and Ranj, out of the den. Today was a special day, a trip to the mall. The cubs were excited to explore this strange, human-made world, full of strange smells and sounds. As they approached the mall, Mama Rani paused, her ears twitching. "Be careful," she warned, her voice low and rumbling. "The mall is full of strange creatures and even stranger noises." The cubs, their eyes wide with curiosity, followed their mother through the sliding doors. The mall was a cacophony of sights and sounds, flashing lights, loud music, and people bustling about. The cubs, used to the quiet of the jungle, were overwhelmed. Mama Rani led them down a long corridor, past shops with brightly colored windows. The cubs were fascinated by the strange objects on display, clothes, shoes, and even a giant teddy bear that was taller than they were. They stopped in front of a large, glass tank filled with colorful fish. The cubs stared in amazement as the fish swam gracefully through the water. "What are they?" Rani asked, her voice full of wonder. "They are called fish," Mama Rani explained. "They live in water." The cubs continued to explore, their noses twitching as they sniffed the air, trying to identify the strange smells. They passed a food court, where the air was filled with the mouth-watering aromas of different cuisines. The cubs' stomachs rumbled, but Mama Rani reminded them that tigers don't eat human food. Finally, they came to a large, open space filled with children playing. The cubs watched in fascination as the children ran around, laughing and playing. They wished they could join in, but Mama Rani held them back. "It's not safe for us here," she said. "We belong in the jungle." The cubs were disappointed, but they understood. They followed their mother back out of the mall, their heads filled with the sights and sounds of this strange, new world. As they walked back to their den, the cubs fell silent, lost in thought. They had seen so many amazing things today, but they knew that their home was in the jungle, with their mother and the familiar sounds of the forest. As they walked back to their den, the cubs fell silent, lost in thought. They had seen so many amazing things today, but they knew that their home was in the jungle, with their mother and the familiar sounds of the forest. Suddenly, Raja stopped and looked back at the mall. "Mama," he whined, "can we please go back? I saw something that smelled delicious." Rani and Ranj nodded in agreement, their stomachs growling. Mama Rani hesitated. She knew that human food was not good for tigers, but she also knew that her cubs were hungry. "All right," she said finally, "but we won't stay long." The cubs cheered and followed their mother back into the mall. They stopped in front of a kiosk selling ice cream. The ice cream cones were piled high with colorful scoops of ice cream, and the cubs' mouths watered. Mama Rani bought 3 small cones, one for each of her cubs. The cubs licked their cones happily, their eyes wide with delight. "This is delicious," Raja exclaimed. "It tastes like sunshine," Rani added. Choti, unable to speak, simply licked her cone with gusto. Mama Rani watched her cubs with a smile. She knew that this was a special treat, a memory they would cherish for years to come. As they left the mall, the cubs were full and happy. They had explored a new world, tasted a new food, and made a memory they would never forget. And as they walked back to their den, they knew that their mother would always be there to protect them, to teach them, and to make sure they had the best adventures.